Kate was a person who saw the best in the world. She knew what humanity could be and was an advocate to do better, to strive for more. Her passion and everything she stood for, however, would ultimately lead to her untimely and gruesome death. And the very organization that was at fault turned their back on her family in the aftermath. This is the story of Peace Corps volunteer, Kate Puzey. My name's Ben.
I'm Nicole, and you're listening to Wicked and Grim,
A true crime podcast.
Warning, the following podcast contains graphic content and material intended for a mature audience. Listener discretion is advised.
Remember that time I said that there's going to be a horrible transition into Patreon?
Is this the time?
This is it. We're just thanking patrons right now. So shout out to Courtney Wheeler, Brittany Olson Boblet, Brianna Seymour. I'm probably going to get this one wrong, but I'm going to do my best. Heliknicter and Carrie G.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. You guys get all that awesome behind the scenes and everything.
Thank you so much.
You.
Like, we honestly appreciate that so much.
We do. You guys really are a big integral part of keeping the show going. Mm-hmm. So thank you so much for everything you do. It means a lot. Plus you get to be awesome patrons. You get to be back there. Amazing people. So yeah. How was that for a horrible Patreon segue?
It was unexpected.
That was what I was going for.
I don't feel like it was terrible. I was like, okay, cool.
It was different. It wasn't like smooth by any means.
No, but that's okay.
That's what okay. I was aiming for.
Yeah.
We are officially 5 episodes away from Big 200. This is episode 195.
Wow.
How's that make you feel?
Old.
We've been going for a while. So.
Yeah. It makes me feel, I don't know. Time just flies so darn fast. I don't get it.
Well,
it does not seem like we've put 200 episodes out.
No. And I mean, we're going to be pumping out more now that we're starting to do Friday episodes. Because like last week, minus the whole like server error with our hosting platform. But we had 2 episodes out plus the Patreon episodes. We had 3 episodes we actually released last week.
Mm-hmm. And this one, we've recorded. What day is it today? Saturday. I'm almost on holidays, so just don't mind me today.
Nicole's in holiday mode already.
I'm trying to be. Yeah, so it's Saturday, and this is the Tuesday episode.
Yeah,
so.
We usually record on Monday night, right hours before the episode's release.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had to be above our normal schedule and be on the ball this time. So yeah.
And we should note that too, because of the whole thanking patrons. So if you kind of sign up and you're thinking you'll be thanked, it will be next week.
Yeah,
so.
Next Tuesday. Because Fridays we're not, but Tuesdays we will. Yeah, you get it. You understand. Okay. Kate Puzey.
Okay.
Are you ready for the story?
No.
No?
I feel like this story is going to be terrible.
It is. I mean, it's a true crime podcast, so mostly we deal with terrible things, unfortunately.
You don't say.
I feel like we've been on a bit of a stint of doing some different type weird cases recently, and this one definitely falls in that category again. There's some different dynamics to it. We deal with the Peace Corps, as I already kind of mentioned, which we'll talk about what that is and how it was all involved and everything. But it's different. Okay. Maybe one day soon we'll just get to the stereotypical serial killer and how they get caught. But for now, we're going a little bit different.
That's okay. I think that's great.
Fair enough.
You're doing a good job over there.
Thank you. It means a lot. Appreciate it.
I'm just here for the ride.
Until vacation.
Well, no, I mean, after vacation, I'm hoping I can get a case out.
Yeah, that would be nice.
That would be really nice.
That would be. But for now, we're going to talk about Kate. So we digress back onto the case. Kate Puzey was born on June 19th, 1984 in Augsburg, Germany, where both of her parents worked as teachers. Now, though born in Germany, they would soon move when she was only 9 years old. And Kate spent her childhood from then on in Okinawa, Japan. Now, this is where she continued to grow, learn, play as a kid, right? All the way up until she graduated high school and she left for college. Now, from a young age, though, Kate showed a blend of empathy, kindness, and smarts. And during her high school years, she was actively involved in advocating for various causes, showcasing her passion for making a difference, and was elected even student body president twice. And she even graduated as valedictorian in 2002.
Right on.
Yeah.
She sounds awesome.
She is. She's got a good heart. She's smart, and she isn't too much about herself. She's for other people, for the better, right?
Yeah, no, that sounds awesome.
Yeah. And from there, Kate would then attend post-secondary in France, majoring in sociology with a minor in business. Now, during these years, she also worked with underprivileged children, often supporting guidance for those, in need, right? Doing her volunteer work. Again, doing what's best.
Yeah, no kidding.
Those who knew Kate said she was known for her radiant smile and positive attitude, and said that she always left a lasting impact on everyone that she met. With the kind of person that Kate was, it's not surprising to hear that she aimed to have a career in a nonprofit management position, focusing on international development and advocacy for women and children more specifically. Everyone knew exactly what Kate was about, who she was. And they would use all these different words and terms and descriptions and terminology that I've already thrown out there in an attempt to capture who she was in a summed up sentence. But Kate, for her, it was easy to define who she was. She simply described herself as an optimistic realist and was committed to making a positive difference in the world.
Dang. I feel like if someone was like doing an intro of me, I wouldn't be half that good.
I know.
Like, she just sounds freaking phenomenal.
I know. And then from what everyone, like the resume she has on what kind of person she is and how everyone can describe her in such this like heart of gold person. She's like, I'm just an optimistic realist.
I feel like she's just like light. Just like light, airy, like beautiful human.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Now, after graduating, Kate continued to follow her heart of gold and volunteered with the International Rescue Committee, which is a global humanitarian organization. I'm having troubles talking tonight, apparently. Sorry, my apologies for that.
Okay.
And now this organization provides emergency assistance and relief. As a result, Kate would find herself traveling extensively to countries like England, Indonesia, Italy, Ghana, Greece, Korea, Malaysia, Mexico, Morocco, Hong Kong, Spain, and Thailand.
That's a lot of places.
Yeah, so
big resume there.
Upon going to different countries, volunteering and everything, within her life, she traveled to many different places. Her talents for writing and photography that she developed from school and in her travels helped her share her experiences with friends and families, providing a window into her adventures and the cultures that she encountered along the way. In 2007, Kate expanded her dedication of doing good and bettering the world by joining the Peace Corps. So the Peace Corps, if for anyone who doesn't know, is a U.S. government initiative established in March of 1961 by President John F. Kennedy, and it aimed to foster world peace, or aims, as I should say, because it is still an organization today. Now, their core objective included providing technical assistance to developing nations, promoting a deeper understanding of American culture abroad, and enriching Americans' awareness of other cultures as well. So from outside of assistance, it's a two-way learning street from culture to culture sort of thing. Volunteers worked in various sectors such as education, health, agriculture, and by living and working within local communities, they share American culture and values while immersing themselves in the customs and traditions of the host country itself. So those volunteers are actually going abroad to some of the countries that, that Kate actually traveled to, living in the actual cultures, the villages or wherever it might be, and volunteering to maybe agriculture, hospitals, or schools, and they're immersing themselves in what these cultures are, and then bringing their knowledge from North America, and this is how we teach in North America, and these are some of the things on English skills or whatever they're teaching. I don't know, and they just bring these things over and teach and share, and then take back as well.
That's like such a cool experience, hey? Like, I just feel like that's just an amazing life experience. Oh,
I can't even imagine going through something like that. It'd be so phenomenal.
And it's called Peace Corp?
Yeah.
Peace Corp? Okay.
Peace Corps.
Corps, okay.
Yeah, CORPS.
Okay.
Yeah. Now, the experience with the Peace Corps volunteers, though, does not end with their actual service while they are abroad. Upon returning home to North America, they bring back their invaluable insights and experiences, of course, contributing to the broader global awareness sort of thing, right? Because it's not just so much about them going out and doing good in other countries. It's about like, hey, what can you bring back to, right? What can we learn from your experience?
Totally. Yeah.
Now, since the Peace Corps' inception, over 240,000 individuals have volunteered, which is phenomenal.
Yeah, that's really good. Wow.
So this was the perfect thing for Kate to join. It made perfect sense, and it matched the whole sense of what kind of person she was perfectly to a T.
Yeah, totally. I was thinking that, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why else would I have just talked about it, right? Just, hey, we're talking about Kate and then Peace Corps. But anyways, back to Kate.
They do align. Like it seemed like her values, the values of this corporation, like it aligns.
There is definitely a Venn diagram here going on with the two, for sure. Yeah. So when she did volunteer, she was assigned to teach English in a rural village of, again, probably going to pronounce this wrong, Badouish. Nope, there's no sh in that. I don't know why I said that. Badouish. I don't know. Badjoudae.
I love it when you're not sure. You're just spelling it.
Well, I mean,
oh my gosh.
Badjoudae.
Okay.
Anyways, it's in Benin, which is in West Africa.
Okay.
Okay. So the village itself, can't pronounce, my apologies, but it is in Benin, West Africa.
Okay.
Now, Benin is a nation known for its rich history, including the powerful kingdom of Dahomey, which holds cultural diversity with, many different ethnic groups and languages within the Benin country or West. Yeah. You know what I mean, right?
I know what you mean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's really hard to portray another country, another place. Like I've never visited.
Well, yeah, when you're kind of just like learning about the place,
exactly,
right? Yourself. So
yeah. Now the country's economy relies heavily on agriculture, trade, particularly through the port of Port Cotonou. Despite the economic growth, though, with this port, Benin faces many challenges such as poverty, infrastructure deficits, which is exactly why Peace Corps is taken up in the area, right?
Okay.
So they're really trying to see what they can do to, help them develop, help them grow, specifically with, their resources available, like in this port, for example, their trade, their agriculture. Now, Kate, though, served as volunteer over the course of these 2 years that she was there, and she built a strong relationship with the local community, particularly focusing on the women and children. Kate's initiatives included creating a girls' club, organizing girls' camps, teaching reproductive health, and addressing issues of male oppression, which reflected her deep commitment to advocating for women's rights. The Peace Corps was everything Kate had dreamed it would be. She was making a difference. She was offering support and building a better world for people who needed it. Each day she did her best, and it showed.
Well, yeah, that just sounds amazing. Creates a girls' club? Are you kidding me? Wow.
However, like any group or organization in the world, there are those within it who are corrupt. People who will twist things in order to take advantage. Kate, unfortunately, would find out that the Peace Corps was not an exception to this rule of thumb.
Dang. Here I was like, this is such a nice story. And here we go. Just going downhill from here, I'm assuming.
Yeah, you could say that, unfortunately. Yep. Kate would eventually discover that someone who was working for the Peace Corps organization was assaulting young girls. So through her interaction with the local community and her students, and being a beloved community member, she developed very close relationships with these people, particularly the women and children with the clubs and organizations she was running and developing, right? Through these relationships, she became aware of these incidents, and it left Kate with no other decision. She had to report what was happening to the organization.
Kate, I'm confused. So someone, like a volunteer, was harassing, like, say, people in this girls' club, or like other volunteers? Or we're going to get there?
We're getting into it. Yeah, I'm literally about to just start describing all that, so don't worry. So on February 9th, 2009, Kate sent an email to her Peace Corps county director, reporting allegations of sexual misconduct by a local teacher named Constant Bio. Now, Constant, who taught at Kate's school, was also regularly hired by the Peace Corps in Benin to facilitate volunteer training sessions. So it is a local of the area because everything that's happening with them being in this other country, it's not just all volunteers coming over, right? They also hire locals. They hire people and create this, like, I don't know, station, if you will, and volunteers come over and help, right?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah. But yeah, so Constant was the one that we're talking about here, this local.
Okay.
So in her email, Kate detailed how Constant had been assaulting and raping young girls in the village. She felt it was crucial for the county director to be aware of this behavior, not only for moral reasons of it needing to stop and this vile action needing to be putting an end to it, but she also had concerns that the association with the Peace Corps and this individual would damage the organization's reputation within the community itself.
Yeah. Wow. Imagine finding out about that, hey?
Yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to sit back very, very long, if at all, before speaking up. So while the email itself has not been released publicly, I was able to find an excerpt from what she said. So here is a little bit of a clip of how it reads. And it goes like this, quote, "Please believe me, I'm not someone who likes to create problems, but this has been weighing heavy on me. I've loved my time as a volunteer, and it's important to me that the Peace Corps remain a respected organization in the eyes of our host country. This man is not someone I want representing Peace Corps to the Beninese community."
Wow. I mean, it sounds like, like she really, just from that little like blip of the letter or the email, that she put like a lot of thought into it, you know?
She did. She took this very seriously.
Yeah.
You can tell, thought about it every which angle possibly, and took it very, not even just very seriously, but very professionally as well, which props to her.
Yes.
I don't know if I could have done that.
I know.
I'd have been like, get this piece of fucking shit out of here.
Well, yeah, because I feel like a lot of people, you know, they would just like lose their shit and could potentially go and approach this person, which could make things a lot worse, right? So she was definitely doing the right thing.
Yeah. So with the new information at hand, the Peace Corps organization had a problem that clearly needed to be dealt with. So due to the information that Kate had provided to the county director about this individual in Benin, Constant Bio was informed that he would no longer be employed by the Peace Corps.
Okay, so that was that.
That was that. Now, I don't know how things operate in this country, in Benin. As I already mentioned, I've never been there, so describing it was already a challenge, but this is an assumption of mine here that I have. And I assume that in an underdeveloped country like this, I'm sure securing a job might be hard to come by. And for the man that we're talking about, I'm sure it could have been very devastating news that he had just been fired from it.
Right, that does make sense.
Yeah. It's also very unfortunate, but at the time, the Peace Corps volunteers had no whistleblower protection. Situations like this were very rare, and there weren't very many protocols on how to deal with it. And so, according to a report from the Peace Corps Office of Inspector General, the information Kate shared was not kept confidential.
Oh, you're kidding me.
Which means it was well known within the Peace Corps that this man had been fired, why he had been fired, and more importantly, who relayed the information about the actions that he was doing that got him fired in the first place.
That honestly just seems like common sense, though, that you would keep that
One would think.
Quiet.
One would think.
Okay. Holy shit. That's kind of scary.
Yeah. So Kate had even received a follow-up call from another Peace Corps employee regarding this matter, and was told that the information had become widely known among the employees of the Peace Corps office in Benin. One such employee who learned what happened was a man by the name of Arlene Bio, also known as Jaquis Bio, who was an associate director of the Peace Corps in Benin. And as you've probably already guessed by the last name, was the brother of Constant Bio, the individual who was fired.
Oh, shit. No, I actually forgot his last name, so I didn't put that together.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, I'm glad I told you that.
Okay, well, shit.
The Peace Corps response to Kate's report was, of course, fantastic. They eliminated the problem right then and there. They got him out of the situation, removing the man from his employment. However, the mishandling of the information proved to be a grave mistake, as the organization allegedly even disclosed to Constant Bio himself that Kate had been the one who reported the misconduct, directly compromising her safety and exposing her to, of course, potential retaliation.
Okay, like what the actual shit? This just seems okay, because it's not like she was reporting like something minor. Like this was a big fucking deal.
This is a very serious
that
situation.
Needed to be dealt with. Like it needed to be dealt with.
Correct. I agree.
And so the fact that now she is in any sort of weird position is just like not okay. I just think that's terrible. I
agree. There is one devil's advocate here. We are talking about an underdeveloped country still. So these are employees employed by the Peace Corps. So they are members of the Peace Corps organization, but they are Benin civilians. So we're not talking about like people who are in skyscraper towers in downtown New York and Chicago who deal with this sort of sensitive information all the time.
I guess.
So I understand how without proper protocols, they might not understand that you should keep your mouth shut.
Well, yeah. But
potentially, I don't know.
What was she supposed to do? Like, it's not like she could just have had a blind eye to that.
No, she couldn't.
Yeah.
Especially for a person like Kate. There's no way she could have. Especially when one of the big things she was fighting for was for advocacy for women and children.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how everything played out, just days after the report was made, Kate Puzey was found dead.
Gosh.
Her lifeless body was discovered on the porch of her small home in Benin. Her throat had been cut open ear to ear.
Holy shit.
It was a brutal end that sent shockwaves through the Peace Corps community.
Well, yeah, that is just beyond fucked.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to say. You're trying to do the right thing and that happens to you. Oh man, okay, that's terrifying.
When their headquarters contacted Kate Puzey's parents to inform them of her death, they refused to provide any details or explanations on what happened. Lois and Harry Puzey, her parents, had to piece together the circumstances surrounding Kate's death by reading her emails and speaking with other volunteers.
Wow.
They had to dig in and investigate what happened themselves because the Peace Corps...
Well, they weren't taking any sort of responsibility.
No, they were trying to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, but like someone who was amazing died. You can't just sweep that under the fucking rug.
Someone died. Yeah. It's your responsibility to look after these individuals. And under your care, someone was hurt or died. Doesn't matter which one. And you have a responsibility towards that. But they were trying to sweep it under the rug.
You know, and gosh, because Kate had thought this through so much, right? And I bet you, and this was the reason why she had to think it through so much.
Oh, definitely.
Oh, man.
Because I guarantee you, if she was still in the USA, she wouldn't have had to think twice. Mm-hmm. She would have just reported it then and there. Because her nominee would have been kept.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That is just so fucking sad.
4 months after Kate's murder, the Peace Corps ceased all communications with the Puzey family. Cut ties completely.
What the hell? It's just like they're spiraling and handling this shit terribly.
Yeah. Authorities in Benin didn't take long to react to her murder and soon made the arrest on Constant Bio, as well as his brother Jacques Bio and a Nigerian man from Kate's village in connection with the murder. These men were held in prison for years without a proper trial occurring, trapped in legal limbo, sitting behind bars. It would be 8 years after Kate was murdered when the men finally saw the inside of a courtroom in Benin. Unfortunately, it didn't play out as anyone would hope. The court acquitted all 4 men, because there was a 4th that was arrested as well, of killing her on February 25th, 2017, and were released as free men without any criminal records from the incident.
gosh, why no evidence? Was there not enough evidence? Or they're doing like time, and what is that when someone like
Time served.
Time served.
Yeah, well, there's a few reasons. Like over time, a lot of doubts in their involvement in Kate's murder did begin to emerge, but it was not really like anything really. It's like, did they really? Maybe. But most likely, there was no one else. And it's like they had the motive and everything, but several factors were contributing to their release. Lack of concrete evidence was a big one. Directly linking these guys to the crime was proven to be really hard. I mean, we are talking about an undeveloped country as well. Investigating is probably not the best there. The prosecution's case relied heavily on circumstantial evidence since they didn't have any actual concrete evidence, and the motive as well to go along with it. Additionally, reports of witness intimidation and fear allegedly affected the willingness of key witnesses to testify against the accused in court.
Oh, dang.
Mishandling of evidence and potential corruption further complicated the case. Remember, we are talking about an undeveloped country still.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I mean, it's good that they serve some time. But then the thing is, too, there's some, like, I do believe that they did it. The brothers or whatever, right? I don't know about the other people. But, like, oh my gosh, sorry. This is just... I'm so upset for Kate. I can't even fucking think right now. But we have had cases sometimes where, like, it is someone else, right? We don't know everything that went down there.
That's true.
There's a small chance, I guess, that it could have been somebody else.
That's true.
Right?
It could be. I mean, she was working with women and children and these close quarters. Maybe there was something else going on that we're not aware of. Maybe she did something she wasn't even aware of.
Well, yeah. So there is like the tiniest possibility that maybe it wasn't them.
I am 99% confident to say that it was Constant. And
yeah, me too.
So,
but I mean, like you need evidence, right?
You do. So the acquittal of these four guys, these individuals, in connection with her murder was, of course, met with deep frustration and disappointment from Kate's family and supporters. They wanted justice for her death. And the verdict was a significant blow to their hopes for closure and accountability. Now, the Peace Corps is a government agency tasked with ensuring the safety and well-being of their volunteers. And they failed. They failed Kate, they failed her family, and they failed the women who were assaulted as well. Kate's family and many others have questioned why the Peace Corps did not provide the necessary protection and support she needed, and why her identity was revealed to the very person she was reporting. The Puzey family, in response to the tragedy that they had faced, took action and created a project called Kate's Voice. The initiative aimed to raise awareness about Kate's murder and press for the necessary reform within the Peace Corps. Lois Puzey, Kate's mother, expressed her resolve in an affidavit sent to Congress, stating, quote, "After so much heavy grieving and feeling betrayed, we finally decided to stop being victimized, hoping, in vain, for support from the Peace Corps. As a family, we developed an action plan to discover what really happened to Kate and assure that justice was done on her behalf. Kate's Voice sought to advocate for whistleblower protection for volunteers, higher quality standards in Peace Corps management, and better support for volunteer victims and their families. As the Puzey family was building this report, another advocacy group known as the First Response Action was also being organized by Return Peace Corps Volunteer. Now, First Response Action focused on demanding a stronger response from Peace Corps for volunteers who were victims of physical or sexual violence as well. One of the founders, Casey Frazee, shared her personal experience. Quote, "I was a Peace Corps volunteer in South Africa in 2009, and I was unfortunately assaulted while I was serving as a volunteer. I found that there were many other people who'd been raped or assaulted and weren't getting the services they needed. At the time that I was assaulted, there was no policy for how Peace Corps should respond to survivors of sexual violence, and it felt like we were just too far along in recorded history to not have policies like that." Both Kate's Voice and first response action highlighted the significant need for reform within the Peace Corps to protect volunteers and provide adequate support for those who experienced violence, aiming to ensure that future volunteers would not face the same tragic circumstances as Casey or as Kate. In response to the tragic murder of Kate Puzey, the U.S. Congress also made a move and passed the Kate Puzey Peace Corps Volunteer Protection Act of 2011, which was signed into law by President Barack Obama himself on November 21st, 2011. And I do want to say there's also even a photo out there of President Barack Obama standing next to Kate's brother, and he's holding a picture of Kate, and he's just staring at the picture he's holding in his hand.
Dang. Well, you often say like these like rules or policies and stuff, or what is
written in blood.
Yeah, I was going to say signed in blood, but
yeah, they're written in blood because it takes someone to get seriously injured or killed for someone to say, hey, wait, we should probably do something about that.
Yeah. Well, honestly, just like listening to this, it seemed, I mean, I'm hoping it's gotten much better, but it's almost like disorganized in a way that they're, you know, sending volunteers and stuff and to places and not really knowing what they're fully getting themselves into.
Well, yeah, it comes down to, it's a safety issue.
Yeah.
You do have, and I understand this might be a controversial thing for me to say, but you have white women going to underdeveloped countries where maybe the main population there is their colored skin individuals. I think a white woman from a first world country going into these areas is probably going to be like a target for assault or rape. And it's terrible to think that.
Yeah.
But I think that might be the case. So
yeah.
you have to look at their safety. How are you going to go along protecting these individuals? Whether it is white woman, white man, color, doesn't matter. Whoever it is, you have to look at their safety and how you can protect them. You're responsible. You're sending them there.
Well, yeah, it's just well, gosh, maybe it's not like, I feel at that time I think you even said it. It's surprising that they didn't have more in place, but every year we come like further and further with this kind of stuff, right? And
that's true.
So it just seems like for 2011 and stuff that they should have already had something like this.
Well, that's exactly what Casey Frazee was saying. To go back to her quote, it felt like we were just too far along in recorded history to not have policies like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now, this legislation that was signed by President Barack Obama, Kate Puzey Peace Corps Volunteer Protection Act, was designed to enhance the safety and security of Peace Corps volunteers, particularly those reporting misconduct or facing threats, and to ensure the organization provided better support and protection. One of the key provisions of this act was the establishment of the Office of Victim Advocacy within the Peace Corps itself. The office is dedicated to supporting volunteers who are victims of crimes, providing them with essential emotional, medical, and legal assistance. To address the issue of whistleblower protection, the Act implemented stricter confidentiality protocols, basically meaning their names will not be leaked. The Act also mandated improved training programs, both for volunteers and staff, focusing on sexual assault awareness, risk reduction, and response strategies. This includes bystander intervention training and clear reporting procedures. Additionally, to ensure accountability, the Peace Corps is required to provide annual reports directly to Congress, detailing the number of crimes reported by volunteers, the agency's response, and the measures taken to improve volunteer safety.
Wow.
Annual reports.
Okay. They're holding them accountable big time.
They are. Although Kate's life was tragically cut short, her legacy lives on through this legislation, which strives to create a safer, more supportive environment for Peace Corps volunteers. The changes brought on by the Act directly reflect the values Kate stood for during her life. Even in death, Kate is contributing to a more secure and peaceful world.
Yeah. Oh, shit. She totally is.
That's the story of Kate Puzey.
Huh. Wow. I'm okay. Like, this is good because at one point I was like, holy shit, like no one's going to ever volunteer for this organization ever again after hearing this. This is going real downhill. But it does sound like they're, kind of learning from some big mistakes.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
And honestly, though, like I don't want to speak bad on the Peace Corps because I do think that they do phenomenal things globally.
well, yeah.
They're
yeah.
an incredible organization. But I do think if it weren't for Kate's family actually going above their heads and like going to Congress and like fighting for this act that they were going for,
Mm-hmm.
I think that the Peace Corps would have just swept it under the rug. I really do.
Yeah, I honestly feel terrible for Kate's family. Like they lost their child, but then to also, I don't know, to just be like, swept under the rug like that too.
I know.
It's just like a double whammy of heartache, really.
Thankfully, it wasn't. Thankfully, it was actually being able to get brought to the forefront.
Yeah.
And I do think that's thankfully to her family for doing that.
Well, clearly her family is probably just as awesome as Kate is, right? Or
Yeah.
was, so.
Now, I do want to add one more little thing. I do think Kate would be okay with how things ended up. I mean, no one, of course, wants to lose their life. But I think if Kate knew this act that was implemented and how many people she's probably helping with her incident, I do think if there is an afterlife, I think she's probably looking down, probably happy with what happened.
Yeah.
I don't think she's, of course, happy with being attacked, but I do think she's happy with the aftermath.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's always like you can just hope that something good will come out of terrible situations,
Yeah.
right? And in this situation, it kind of did.
Yeah.
So,
It's been a while, but I officially want to name Kate our badass of the day.
yeah.
110%.
Yeah, we haven't named one forever, hey?
We haven't.
Huh.
It kind of caught me when I was writing this earlier that I was like, we haven't done that for a while. Kate's someone who definitely deserves that title. She is our badass of the day for sure.
Well, yeah, and she was born in, was it 94 or something, I think you said?
No, she was 84.
84,
Yeah,
okay.
June 19th, 1984.
But still, like, just so taken way too goddamn young.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So, yeah. Well, I hope you enjoy your vacation now. You have an 8-hour drive ahead of you tomorrow morning. Hopefully you're not just thinking of this.
I know. It's so interesting because before when I would take road trips, like I would always listen to true crime podcasts, like the whole way, right? And then I would get to my destination, just be fucked because it's like so long to be listening to just shit, right? Well, like not that like that's bad, but just like terrible
Incidents
stories
and
of people
acts
being
and
like
violence.
terrible and anyway, and I don't know. Now I just usually listen to audiobooks. It's changed. Like I've changed a little bit.
Yeah, instead you just...
Because we're like researching and
host
I
it
hear
instead.
them more on a daily basis.
Whoa.
and-
Who's researching here?
Well, I said we because I occasionally do.
You need to get back onto it and give us an episode here coming up.
I know.
Okay, can you throw down the gauntlet and say, before episode 200, do you think you can do that?
I'll let you know.
Okay, how's this?
Probably.
Episode 201. Nicole's got it. That's hers.
201 you want
201. Yeah.
Okay, so what happens if I have one before? I just don't have to worry about it until 201.
I guess so.
Okay, well, we'll see. I do, like...
No, I'm calling you out 201.
Okay.
You're doing that episode.
Okay, it's funny. I do have actually quite a few cases picked that I want to research. It's just, I mean, June was absolutely insane for
Fair.
photography. So,
Well, I have a book that I've been reading for a few weeks. I haven't picked it up for a little while.
oh yeah, I forgot about that.
It's a tough read because
Yeah.
the story is very heavy-hearted. I'll let you guys know right now. It's a story of J.C. Dugard. So I'm doing a deep dive into her case. And so that one hopefully will be coming out before we reach episode 200. I'm really taking my time with it. I want to do that one.
Yeah, it's one you
justice.
got to take your time on.
For sure.
I also just have to say, stop throwing me under the bus here.
Well, maybe you should
This
come out
isn't-
with episodes.
This is your full-time job, dude.
Touche.
I have another full-time job.
Touche. But you still need to do an episode
I know,
once.
I
You
do.
gotta treat everyone
I
out
know.
there.
I should do one like once a month. That's not
It's not
unrealistic to ask.
No, it's not. You were doing it once every other week before.
Yeah, holy shit. Yeah.
Just, yeah, holy shit, yeah, that's it?
I know. I
Oh,
don't
yeah,
know.
no, for sure,
I'm
bud.
just like, I don't know where the time goes. There's never enough time. I need a clone.
Touche. Well, thank you guys for being here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Maybe just in honor of Kate, just see if you can do a little bit good out there in the next few days. You know, just make the world a little bit of a better place. You know, pick up a piece of litter, give someone a compliment. Something small. Doesn't have to be anything crazy.
I know. I mean, Lord knows it's needed.
That's the truth right there.
Yeah.
If you guys want to check out all our links, they're in the description of this podcast, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, all that good stuff. You can get tickets to our 200th live event. If you're local, because it is a local event, if you want to join up for our Patreon, we will be streaming it there as well. Give us a review if you enjoy the show. We appreciate you guys being here, especially if you are still here after the episode's already done. We've been rambling. You guys mean a lot to us. It means the world because we are an indie podcast. It's just us. This is it. There's no manager, no management team, no nothing. It's us in our tiny home with our pets.
Just killing it over here, you know? Okay. And so until next time.
Stay wicked.